Welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. This is the CZ600 Ergo in 308 Winchester.
This CZ600 Ergo is in 308, but it's also available in 223, 65 Creedmoor, 3006, 300 Win Mag and 8.5 by 57. In 308 it's a medium action length, 223 will be short and the 3006 will be long action. Overall length is 1038mm or 39.5 inches. Weight is 2.9 kilograms or 6.4 pounds. It's a polymer ambidextrous thumbhole stock with soft touching lens for grip. Length of pull is 367mm or 14.5 inches, and there are 3 recoil pad thicknesses available. Today we're here with the CZ600 Ergo, and I've finished shooting it and it's ready for the full review. When I say I've finished shooting it, I'm actually hoping to hang on to it for a little bit longer because I'm hoping to take this up to Scotland for some hind stalking in season, but that's not just quite yet. So I thought I'll tell you all about how I found the gun. You can listen to some of the details and specifics in the voiceover, but here are my thoughts, my feelings as a reviewer. What stands out to me about this rifle? Number one, the fact that you can no longer change the barrels yourself doesn't matter to me, because if you want to change a barrel, which is a fairly unusual occurrence for a UK shooter, your dealer can do it for you and you can swap the bolt heads. Starting at the front, it's threaded 15x1, good secure mounting for a moderator or muzzle brake, and this barrel, cold hammer forged, it's 508mm or 20 inches long. It's a 1 in 10 inch twist rate, and it has proven to be very good at stabilising all the ammunition I've tried through it. I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. It's quite a slim profile, it's not too heavy. Most importantly though, I have shot it very, very hot, and I've put some 30 round strings through this gun on a steel gong, 300 metres, and okay, it's not the tightest group in the world, but I was shooting quite quickly because I really wanted to tempt it to fail, and it didn't. I'll show you the groups on paper from the precision shooting tests, from the bench, and there's no problem with the MOA standard that CZ themselves say it will meet, because it does. And 3 rounds, it'll do it 5, it'll do 6, it'll do 10. But it's a sporting rifle, so you know they've certified it for 3. I'll happily test it for 3. I'll happily test it for 5, and it doesn't bother me because it works well with both, and it has done it with every type of ammunition I have tried through it, which is about 7 varieties so far. One brand was significantly weaker than the rest, but that doesn't really matter to me because it's not a brand I regularly use. It's just some I had a lot of. So you can probably see from the ceiling camera here, we've got a fully floating barrel, and although there's a little bit of flexibility in it, it doesn't matter because the barrel floats by a large enough degree that if you do get a little bit of flexibility, it's still not in contact and it's solid all the way back to the receiver. The barrel is clamped in position and the bolt's got 6 locking lugs, but the 6 locking lugs lock directly into the barrel, so you've no issues with action strength or anything like that. Some of the other CZ600s have got the steel action. This is the aluminium one as described. It's got the Picatinny mounts part of it, so that makes scope mounting very easy. On the other one I've been using, which is the Alpha, I've also been swapping backwards and forwards between daylight and thermal optics, which has, you can see some of that in another review online. That's been totally reliable. That's all part of having Picatinny mounts as part of the receiver. I love Picatinny mounts. Anybody who's followed my channel for however many years I've been doing it, or my written work before then, will know I'm a huge believer in Picatinny. So operating the bolt, that bolt handle, it's very fast, fluid and intuitive to use. There's no excess ostentatious design about it. It's just a simple ball end, a slim handle, and it's really that quick and accessible. So I have no complaints at all. That is a superb bolt design. Removing the bolt using the side release catch here shows it in all its glory. I'll put this on the ceiling camera there, and the bolt heads are removable. Now if you can maybe see this, I'll just zoom in 1 second. Here you can see the controlled feed bolt face. There's an extractor claw on the right hand side, and rounds slide up from the magazine underneath that. When you withdraw the bolt from the action, the plunger ejector is sprung and pushes it out, flicks it out of the ejection port. The 6 lugs offer plentiful primary extraction force, and of course the 6 lug bolt means a 60-degree lift, which is fast in operation. The bolt has just a single raceway for an anti-rotation bolt stop, and of course being a parallel cylinder means it runs slick in the action with no likelihood of it jamming. You have to be a little bit careful because there's some markings on here, so you click that to the right, the bolt will, firing pin slides out there, and then if you slide that forward, the bolt head pops out. You can have interchangeable bolt heads to match interchangeable barrels if that is a function you have in the long term, or if you change calibers in the long term. But as I've said, the barrels are no longer user interchangeable. They are officially done by the dealer because they're thread locked in place. Now I've got to put this in, so I've got to line it up very carefully, and I did misalign it when I took it out, so I've just got to remind myself that I think goes there, push it in, click it around. Yes, that's correct. So that is the assembly and disassembly of the bolt. I'll just pop this back in, pop the release catch down, there we go, and that's that. Safety catch, beautiful. I love the inventive design of it, because if you go from the underneath and press it up, well, that makes the gun safe, and if you press it down from the top, that puts it into fire. And with it in the safe position, the bolt's locked, but if you want to open it, just press the bolt release catch and you can do. So I'll just put that back in position. The stock itself, you'll see me shooting this quite a lot on video from prone and from standing positions. I shot it a lot from the bench too. The only thing I would possibly say about it is that you have got this fairly narrow underside to the polymer here, and although it's rubberized there and the sling swivel fits through the stock, the only, it's not even a criticism, it's just a factor of the design. This has been designed ultra modern, it's been designed totally ambidextrous, because you can shoot it either handed and it's equally comfortable, which I quite like, and of course left-handers are kind of fixed with. But what I will say is that if you're shooting it from the bench with your hand underneath, it's just not particularly comfortable if you've got the web of your hand there. On a bag it's fine, and it's certainly not a problem, because at the end of the day it's a hunting rifle. It's not an all-day range rifle. The ambidextrous vertical pistol grip has an inlaid rubber panel to enhance tactile perception and assured hold. Recoil is very linear, there's no problem with huge amounts of muzzle flip. 308's not the strongest recoiling cartridge in the world, but it's certainly got a little bit of oomph to it, and a light rifle like this will jump a little, but it's actually very, very manageable, and the recoil pad itself soaks that up very nicely and transfers it into your shoulder without any pain or discomfort. And similarly, the stock has got no real harmonic resonance to it, so you don't get that vibration travelling up through your cheekbone, and it's also offers excellent alignment. The last thing to cover is the trigger, and the trigger is superb. I'll probably overlay a photograph of this to capture it in enough detail. The little Allen bolt there makes it so simple to adjust, and it's at 4 stages. They've all got nice crisp detents. You can return to any of them if you change it. It's not like counting rotations or anything like that. I've been using it, I think, on number 2, but I might transfer to number 3 in the winter just because I like a slightly heavier trigger. But if you want it down at 1, about 600 grams, it is still super crisp and very predictable. It's not like a scary single set trigger, which, you know, compromises the overall performance to give you this single stage which is super light, but actually it's so light you can't even put your finger onto it. It's a slim steel blade, there's no serration on it, but it's super comfy. And the reach to it is lovely, and it is absolutely crisp. So I'm more than happy with that. I prefer the trigger on weights 2 and 3, and on weight number 3, pull is 950 grams, which is about 35 ounces. While it's upside down, I'll just show the magazine system. You'll see on the video just how quick and intuitive it is to use and quick to load. But if I press the button there, the mag pops out. You can just click the rounds in straight through the top. You don't have to slot them in from the front or anything like that. There's a small spring lever here, which gives the magazine a little bit of spring pressure to make sure it pops out into your hand, even when it's upside down. But the other clever factor is if you flick that switch forwards there, the magazine is now locked in place. So to take it out, just click it back again. But with it locked in place at the front, there's nothing to stop you loading, you know, through the ejection port here. It works beautifully. I think it's just overall a very well designed rifle, because although it maybe uses a few features that you can see on other rifles, and it maybe takes some inspiration for the design of other rifles, I think CZ overall have given it a very, very clinically clean, effective, intelligent and good looking design. It's also not stunningly expensive. I think this rifle in the UK is about £1,250, but you know, you need to check with your own dealers about things like that, because I don't sell the guns. Now, Shooting it, accuracy-wise, precision-wise, consistency-wise, it's fine. It's as good a sporting rifle as realistically you need. It's not an all-day range rifle, but it won't embarrass you if you do take it to the range. And even in 308, it's not uncomfortable to shoot. I've been using a sound moderator on it, which dampens the noise and some of the recoil, but it's not a huge factor for me, and it's certainly not the overwhelming feature. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing me use this rifle and my genuine enthusiasm for it, because it's about a year ago today that I first went out to the Czech Republic when the press release happened on this. And although we didn't get to, take them away and give them our full, detailed inspection, we were given hot rifles. We were given rifles with huge amounts of mirage coming off them on a range, with noise going off everywhere. There was no opportunity to really film in detail. You've perhaps seen my video on this from a year ago, and you'll see I tested the whole, I got to shoot the whole 5 rifle range that very day. And I just got this immediate impression. I was looking forward to the full review because I didn't think it was going to be disappointing in any way, and it hasn't been. It has fulfilled everything it said it would do. And the most important thing is those red hot barrels we were given on the day with mirage boiling off them. All we could see was these dirty little groups appearing on paper, 100 meters away. And it didn't really matter that we didn't get to measure them or take them pictures in detail, this, that, and the other. It mattered to me that I could see immediately if the rifle was working for me. So I'll just show you a few of the groups I have shot since I've had it here. A few different types of ammunition. Norma's Evo Strike non-toxic ammunition uses a 139 grain bullet. It advertises 2,903 feet per second, and in the CZ develops 2,757. This is 2,346 foot-pounds, and the best group was 19mm or 0.75 inches at 100 metres. Hornady's Custom Light reduced recoil ammunition uses a 125 grain SST bullet. It's advertised to develop 2,610 feet per second, and in the CZ shot at 2,513. That's 1,753 foot-pounds. The best group was 16mm, which is 0.63 inches at 100 metres. This was really enjoyable ammunition to shoot. It's actually quite slow. It's 125 grain SST Hornady, but it's managed recoil, reduced recoil ammunition, and it did shoot, rather well, as you can probably see there. That was consistently very good to shoot, and of course, it was only doing about 2,500 feet per second, and at 125 grains, it's very, very light recoil. Almost too easy, too forgiving, too pleasant to shoot, because you've got to remember, if you're going to shoot a 308, you might as well shoot them with a bit of oomph. But if you've got a 308 and you want to share it with another person who's maybe not quite as recoil happy as you are, that is a superb option, because it's still got just over 1,700 foot-pounds of energy, and it will do the job. Hornady's Precision Hunter ELDX ammunition uses a 178 grain bullet and advertises 2,600 feet per second. The CZ developed 2,493 feet per second, which is 2,457 foot-pounds. The best group was 17mm or 0.67 inches at 100 metres. Certainly meets the MOA standard, and okay, these weren't exactly zeroed, but you can probably see from those 3 groups together, impact shift even between ammunition types when I was just, trialling ammunition on the range is not significant. And you'll see on the steel gong, it's not the smallest group in the world, but I was battering away at that with about 30 or 40 rounds with a hot barrel. It was Winchester ammunition I've had lying around for ages, and I just wanted to get it hot to see if I could trick it, and you know what? I couldn't. I shot it from sticks. I enjoyed shooting it from sticks. It's very handleable on sticks. There's plenty of meat in the forend to get hold of, and the soft touch panels mean you've got a good grip. Good grip here too, and that's quite a vertical pistol grip, and as I say, ambidextrous. But the reach to trigger's good. Put your finger on the trigger guard. The trigger guard's polymer, but there's loads of space inside it for gloves if you need them. So there we go. There's my overall thoughts in a fast fire way on the CZ600 Ergo. I'm very happy with this rifle. I'm actually hoping to carry on using this rifle for a little bit longer. Looking forward to taking it stalking, as I said. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, because your comments are what drive more reviews. And don't forget, when you click subscribe, don't forget to click the notification bell, because this is what shows you our weekly uploads. And The thing is, we're not charging you for any of these videos, but if you click like and click subscribe especially, that helps us make more because it helps us gain industry support and ammunition supply from people like Hornady and Norma, which is the huge expense of reviewing rifles. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.